up, guys? Welcome back to the podcast. And today we will be we're going to be reviewing the USHL game today, the World USHL game. And then we'll be going over the USHL standings because, as you know, it's Sunday. If you didn't know, Sunday, it's USHL Sunday. It's not an official tag for Sunday, but it for real should be. Actually, starting from today, now since I came up with that, USHL Sunday and then NHL Monday. Yep, I did it. I know. Round of applause. Okay, never mind. That was kind of cringe. Anyways, yes, USHL Sunday. USHL team, the standings, maybe some predictions for the playoffs, predictions for the standings. So a little bit of talk about the USHL, and then we'll be going over the USHL, my USHL blog, reviewing the past week of the USHL that I come out with every Sunday. And then we'll be reviewing Saturday's NHL games, and then we'll be done for the day. Tomorrow we will be reviewing today's NHL games, which will be yesterday, tomorrow. Going over the NHL standings, doing a bit of a deep dive into each NHL team. Going over the NHL blog, reviewing the past week of the NHL, which I do come out with every Monday. And then we'll be going over, and then that'll be it, because there's no games tomorrow, I don't believe, for the USHL. Let me actually fact check that real quick. Because I'm not actually sure. Let's check that. Yeah, let's check that real quick, Do that. Yep, nope, there's no games till Wednesday. Dude, that Wednesday game is fire, though. Eastern. Okay, 12 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Central, 9 a.m. Pacific. The Lincoln Stars travel to Sioux City to play the Muskies. That's going to be a fire match. But there's no games tomorrow or Tuesday. So, yeah, for USHL. So, yeah, let's get into this little recap. Let me take a drink real quick just so I'm ready. I'm going to meet my mug while I take a drink. I'll be right back. Okay, we are back. The Tri-City Storm defeat the Omaha Lancers 4-2. The shots 36-23 in favor of the Tri-City Storm. Tri-City Storm dominate the Omaha Lancers. I do think the Omaha Lancers might make it over in their last playoff spot, but they also might not. I don't know what the season progresses, because I also think Omaha is better than Tri-City, but Tri-City dominated them, and Tri-City has a much better record. Not a much better record, but they do have more points. And then now they have a head-to-head win over them. It just really, I did predict this because I did not believe that Tri-City, because we're going to take 3 L's this weekend, and I was like, there's no shot they get beat 3 straight days in the same weekend. They didn't happen. Yeah, I guess it wasn't going to happen. But yeah, that's what happened today. Both Tri-City Storm was 0 for 4 on the power play, and Omaha Lancers 0 for 2 on the power play. Now let's go over to the standings. Waiting all week for this one. Until looking pretty awesome. Yes, we will talk about them right now. Here's the standings right now. I can take a quick look over them before we actually start talking about them. Here are the standings on the USHL currently. Okay, so let's do this. And we're going to start with the Eastern Conference as we do every week. Number 1 Saints, they have sole possession of first place, unlike last weekend when we did this. Saints are 11-3 for 22 points. 52 goals for, 37 goals against. They're on a 6-game win streak and 8-2 in the last 10. They are on fire right now, honestly. They're on a 6-game win streak. They've been dominating every game they win. They've been in. Jan Spooner had 2 consecutive shutouts, and then he only let up 3 goals against the Waterloo Blackhawks. And then only let up 1 goal against the Lincoln Stars. So he's been doing very good lately. And Beeman played phenomenal against Tri-City, but Tri-City scored 2 goals in the last 3 minutes of the game. It really ruined his stats, but outside of that, he really bailed us out so many times. So the Saints got 2 phenomenal goaltenders. Offense is probably best in the league. It is the best in the league statistically. Keep in mind Madison had a 16-goal weekend against Chicago. No, keep bringing it up, but it's true. That's why their goals are inflated. But the Saints have the best offense in the league right now, and they're coming out and showing they have by far the most consistent offense in the league. The top scorers are Michael Barron, Gavin Cornforth, Colin Frank are the top 3 scorers for the Saints. Their depth is immaculate. They got depth pieces like Josh Giuliani, Teddy Merrill, Charlie Aaron, Torkel Geneshow. Cooper Dennis is playing on the 4th line. That is criminal. That is absolutely criminal. And their depth is just crazy. It is. And then the top 6 is just as good. I mean, obviously it's better. Lucas Van Fleet and Melvin Ekman are usually rocking the left wing. Oh yeah, and Riddick Coombs depth too. But Lucas Van Fleet and Melvin Ekman are usually rocking top 2 left wingers, or 3 maybe. Gavin Cornforth up there. The best line, one of the best lines in the league, if not the best, with Gavin Cornforth, Kilo Heinen, and Michael Barron. And then Lucas Van Fleet, John Morello, and Melvin Ekman usually. So they do pretty good together when they play. Yeah, the Saints are overall just a wagon right now, and they're probably the odds-on favorite to win the Calder Cup, I would say. Madison Capitals. They are 2 points behind Dubuque. They have 1 less game played. So yeah, they are 9-2, 1-1 for 20 points. They have 51 goals for, 31 goals against. They are 8-0-1. That's the streak they are on. They're 8-1-1 in the last 10. So Madison looking like a really, really good team too. I was not a big believer in Madison, and now the more wins they pick up, I'm like, okay, this team might be legitimate. Goaltending's looking really, really good, especially this past weekend, letting up a combined 2 goals in both of the games against Youngstown, which is very impressive. The defense is looking spectacular, only letting up 31 goals, which is tied for the least amount of goals let up in the league with Lincoln. And then the offense is performing really well too. 1 goal behind being tied for the most goals in the USHL. The team's overall just looking like a wagon just as much as the Saints, I would say. I do think the Saints will beat them if they face 1-on-1, which I'm very excited as a Saints fan to face Madison, so we can hopefully get a head-to-head Sorry. We can hopefully get a win head-to-head win over the Madison Capitals. That'd be huge. But yeah, Madison Capitals is looking really complete right now, and I'm 100% convinced that that's the only real contender for the Saints to win the Eastern Conference. It's going to be between the Saints and the Capitals. The only other possible contender for number 1 in the East, I would say Muskegon, but I think Madison and Dubuque are by far better than them. But Muskegon, okay, Muskegon's number 3 right now. There's 17 points, 7, 3, 2, and 1. For 17 points, 40 goals for, 33 goals against. They had a 3-game win streak and now 7-2-1 in the last 10. So Muskegon, Chikabid and Gutiev could steal a game on any given night. If he says, I want to steal a game tonight, he will steal a game. Defense is doing pretty good, but the offense needs to pick it up. They only have 40 goals, which is not that good. It is the least amount of goals by any team in the top 4 of any conference, of either one of the conferences. Yeah, they need to get a little bit more goals if they want to contend for the Eastern Conference. If they're going to want to contend for the Eastern Conference over teams like Dubuque and Madison, they need to score more goals. If the offense can put a little pep in their step and really start scoring, they could be a genuine, valid threat to the Eastern Conference throne. Hold right now. Madison's looking so good because they're playing good defense. The goaltenders are being ridiculously good right now, and the offense is one of the best in the league. Technically second best in the league, statistically. If Muskegon's doing their part defensively, they have 4 less goals than Dubuque. But they have 12 less goals for than Dubuque. I'm telling you, all they need is the offense to show up a little bit more, specifically more consistently. their offense can show more consistently, they're going to be very valid third to the Eastern Conference. Number 4, definitely pretty decent sized drop down, not even just points wise, but just in general. Chicago Steel, they have 15 games played, which is tied for the most in the league with Waterloo. They're 6-8-1 for 13 points, 41 goals for, 58 goals against. They're 1-0-1 the streak right now. They're 3-6-1 in the last 10, which doesn't even make sense because that's not 10. Actually, yes, it is. Never mind. I don't know how to do math. Anyways, yeah, Chicago. They have the worst defense in the league. The goaltending on paper is a top 3 goaltender in the league. I'm not gonna lie to you. But the defense sucks. They let up anywhere from 35 to 40 shots on goal every night. You know? And they just can't seem to stop the other team from getting a lot of goals. Their offense is doing okay. Like, nothing to, like, bail them out on the defensive holes. Chicago's really just a mid team, I'm not going to lie to you. Green Bay, 5-6-1 for 11 points. They have a decent amount better point percentage than Chicago. The only reason why they have 2 less points is because they have 3 less games. Green Bay got a loss to Chicago and also beat Chicago this weekend. So they're 1-1 in a head-to-head matchup so far this weekend. They're on a 1-game win streak because they won the most recent game. They're 4-5-1 in the last 10. Defense and goaltending is doing fine. They only let up 38 goals, which is 1 more goal against that than Dubuque. So defense and goaltending is doing fine. You would like to be slightly better, but it is doing fine. Offense is the problem. It is way worse than Muskegon. They have 11 less goals than Muskegon. It might be a scheduling thing. It might be like they're playing the best teams, but I wouldn't even say they are. Like, I don't know. Maybe it's just because they're playing like some of the best teams. They will get number 4 in the East, okay? And by the way, after we talk about each conference, we'll go over my final standing predictions for each conference. We'll try to do that every week if I remember, but we'll do it this week for sure. Number 6, Youngstown Phantoms, 5-7 for 10 points. They're in 2-game losing streak. They're 4-6 in the last 10. They lost their most 2 recent games to Madison, but that's also beating the Muskies twice. They are very inconsistent. They are also by far the most undisciplined team in the league. 237 penalty minutes, which, by the way, Waterloo is very undisciplined too, but Waterloo also had 3 more games played. Yeah. It's bad. It's really bad. Discipline-wise for Youngstown. The offense just sucks. They only have 30 goals, which is 1 more than Green Bay. But they only let 35 goals, which is 2 less than the Saints. So yeah, I mean, it's really just a matter of being disciplined. I mean, it also doesn't help that they took so many penalties in the beginning of the season. They're starting to become a little bit more disciplined, but that also kind of falls on the coach for not making them be disciplined if you're kind of picking a opponent down here. But I think they'll make the playoffs over the next team that I'm about to talk about, 7 seed Cedar Rapids Rough Riders. They have 1 more game played than Youngstown and 1 less point. 4-8-0-1 for 9 points. They have 0-4-0-1. So they lost the most 5 recent games. They're 2-7-0-1 in the previous 10 games. Rapids is not very good. They started 2-0, so that means they are 2-8-0-1 since the first 2 games. Terrible. They got swept by Muskegon this past weekend. Yeah, they suck. Right now they suck. As a Dubuque Flying Saints fan, makes me happy that they suck once again. So if you're a Cedar Rapids fan, but they kind of do. But it's okay. It's okay because I'll say that about Team USA, Omaha. Maybe not Omaha. Omaha, yeah, I would say about Omaha too. They're very inconsistent. And Des Moines. It just is what it is. I'll say it. And if you take offense to that, I'm sorry. Like, I'm just sorry. If my team sucked, I would say they suck. I would 100% say it. If Saints were number 7 in the East, you're number 8 in the East, I would say, you know what, we suck. I'm sorry if you take offense to that. It's just unfortunate, and I don't mean any offense by that. But if it is what it is, right? So, yeah, they're not doing very good. They are not able to put together any wins. I don't know what it is, but they're just not. Number 8, Team USA, NTDP. They have 3-7 for 6 games, but they also have 10 games which is the least amount in the league. 25 goals for, 42 goals against, 4-game losing streak, 3-7 in the last 10. I don't really know much about Team USA. I know they play in a bunch of different leagues. I don't know if this is only the USHL games they played, but I don't know. It's kind of weird. I don't really know, but they're pretty fun to watch, but they're not really that good. Number 1 in the Western oh yeah, we gotta go over the Eastern Conference standings. What I think's gonna happen. So we'll start with number 8. Number 8, I think Team USA is gonna stay there. Not really that good. Same thing as number 7. I think Cedar Rapids is gonna stay there. I think they're barely gonna miss out on the playoffs, but I think they will. Number 6, Youngstown Phantoms. I believe they say right. Actually, nope. Number 6, Chicago Steel. I'm telling you, I'm not really a big believer in Chicago. I'm not. I do not believe in Chicago a single bit. And number 5 is where Youngstown comes in. Youngstown doing pretty good. Becoming more and more disciplined every game, which is huge to see. They're able to win. They're a pretty decent team. Number 4, Green Bay. I think Green Bay's going to finish number 4 in the East. They're looking pretty decent, I'm not going to lie to you. Especially if they can get more offense going, that'll be good. 3, Muskegon. Same thing I'm going to say about Green Bay. They're looking really good. But if they can get more offense to go, they'd be really good. Number 2, Madison Capitals. I think they are number 2, Madison. The offense is arguably just as good as the Saints. But I'm just not as much of a believer in Madison as I am Dubuque. Number 1, back-to-back Eastern Conference winners, regular season ones at least. Dubuque Fighting Saints. I have them winning the Eastern Conference again. They just look like the most complete team in the East. They do. Okay, and there is that Eastern Conference talk. Western Conference now. Number 1, Lincoln Stars, 10-3 for 20 points. And won the most recent game. They're 8-2 in the last 10. They lost to Tri-City and Dubuque. Those are the 2 losses in the last 10. Dubuque beat them this Friday. They just got outplayed that game. Like, they didn't look like their best, which I'll take it. Saints, I'll give credit due to the Saints. The Saints looked like they were at their best. Stars didn't look like they were at their worst. They looked pretty good, but they didn't look like they were at their 100% complete best, which also is a big props to the Saints. Also kind of held them down to that. So, yeah, the Lincoln Stars are really good. Jan Shostak is the best goalie in the league statistically right now. So, yeah, that's the Lincoln Stars. Number 2, Waterloo Blackhawks. They just have the tied for the most games played in the league. They have 18 points, 7-4, 2-2, 49 goals for, 41 goals against. Lost their most recent game to the Buccaneers, 4-3, 1-2 in the last 10. I don't know what it is with Waterloo, dude. They're so inconsistent. They're so incredibly inconsistent. I don't know what it is with Waterloo, because I've seen them both times they played the Saints. They took us to overtime, shootout. And it just, I don't know. Waterloo is so, I've seen them play ridiculously good. And if they play like they do against the Saints, they can beat any team in the league. But then when I see them play teams like the Buccaneers, they just suck. No, I don't know what it is. I would say it's maybe just because they play better against Carabao Cup teams, but the Des Moines Buccaneers are a Carabao Cup team. I don't know. I really just struggling to figure out the reason why Waterloo can't find a way to defeat these teams they need to beat. Specifically the Buccaneers, not the Saints. The Saints are like the best team in the league right now. Statistically they are. But the Buccaneers, they need to beat the Buccaneers and they lost to the Buccaneers. So I don't know. But we'll have to see if Waterloo becomes more consistent. But if they become more consistent, they might win the West. I don't think they will, but they might. Number 3, Fargo Forest. They 8-4, 17 points. They lost the most recent game, but they just got off I believe a 7-game win streak. They are nope, must be a 6-game win streak. Wait, I don't know. I'm so confused because they're 6-3-0-1. Because the commentator said they're on a 7-game win streak. And I put that in my of course I put that in my blog. That's false information. Okay. My bad. Commentators read me false information first. I should have done my research. It's fine. Yeah. Fargo Forest just won I guess a 6-game win streak. And since they win that 6-game win streak, they look nasty. Goaltender's been the goaltender's been one of the best in the league. Defense has been looking really good. Offense has been producing. Reed Davatilla is the leading goal scorer in the league. At least he was on Friday. Or maybe Saturday. I don't remember when I looked at it last. But yeah. Vizavitilla is a great goal scorer right now. Just point getter, I should say, in general. Just getting points. Fargo Force are hot right now. I know they lost the most recent game to the Musketeers, but they are still really hot. I would not want to play them right now. Number 4, Sioux Falls Stampede. They are 7-4 for 14 points and 48 goals for, 38 goals against. They're looking nasty. I think they might overtake Fargo at the end of the year, but I don't think they will. They're 3 points behind with two less games played, so you never know. You never know. They're looking pretty good too, though. 5 Musketeers. They have the 4 last games than the Blackhawks. They are 7-4 for 14 points, 41 goals for, 33 goals against. 1 game, 1 streak. They won the most recent game against the Fargo Force, and they're 6-4 in the last 10. They are nasty. Just people are overlooking them because they're number 5 in the West, just because they had a bad weekend against Youngstown where they lost twice. Besides that bad weekend where they lost twice, they're looking really nasty, dude. Really nasty. So yeah, number 6, Tri-City, 5-6-2-1 for 13 points, 41 goals for, 48 goals against. They are a very inconsistent team, I'll say that. Like, they beat Omaha today. They beat really good teams before. Like, they beat Lincoln, they beat Cedar Rapids when they were 2-0 and 7-0 including the postseason, which is very impressive at the time. They beat Lincoln, as I already said. They beat that Cedar Rapids team who was 7-0 including the preseason at that point. They beat the Omaha Lancers, who was a very streaky team, and they won the most recent game. That means they could easily win on a win streak, and they just stopped. They prevented them from doing that. They beat really good teams. They went toe-to-toe with the Saints. And yes, I know they lost, and the scoreboard definitely said it was closer than the game actually was. But they still went toe-to-toe with them, you know. It was not going to have the whole game. So, I don't know. This team is better on paper than what number 6 in the West. If they were placed in the East, they would be like number 4 or maybe even number 3. I would say it. I say it. The 7 Omaha Lancers, 5-8-1 for 11 points. They're the most streaky team in the USHL. They went on like a 4-game losing streak to start the season. They won a 4-game win streak. And they just got done going on a 4-game losing streak. A 3-game losing streak. They won the most recent game. Like, here we go, another win streak, and they just lost to that. So I don't know. I don't know what the problem is. When they played the Saints, which I was at that game by the way, they looked dominant. And then they just can't seem to win outside of that. I don't know. Number 8, the Des Moines Buccaneers, 4-9 for 8 points. 35 goals for, 51 goals against. They're 3-7 in the last 10. They suck. I'm not saying that because they're a Carabao Cup team. I'm just saying that because it's true. Don't know how to put the puck in the net. They don't know how to stop the puck from going in their own net. They don't know how to play defense. They don't know how to score the puck. They just don't know how to do anything, I guess, this season. Besides beat the Blackhawks. They can beat the Blackhawks really well. They can beat them really well. I know they lost to them, but they also beat them. They can beat the Blackhawks pretty well. But outside of that, they don't know how to beat anybody besides the Waterloo Blackhawks, which is very interesting. That also is kind of like a little shot at the Blackhawks, which is true. It's not even like I'm lying here. They did. But yeah, let's go over the final Western Conference standing predictions. Number 8, the Des Moines Buccaneers. That's obvious. Let's be honest here. They're by far the worst team in the Western Conference. Number 7, Omaha Lancers. I have the Omaha Lancers barely missing out in the playoffs. They're just too streaky to make the playoffs in this stacked Western Conference. Number 6, Tri-City Storm. They're looking pretty decent, honestly, just especially as of lately. I think this weekend. Number 5, I'm going to give it to the Sioux Falls Stampede. Sioux Falls Stampede, very good hockey team, but they're just in the most. Western Conference is the equivalent of the NHL's Atlantic Division. It is really though. Number 4, give me the Fargo Force. I think having one goaltender is going to only carry them so far. When they come down to the stretch and they have to play both back-to-back important games, is gonna sting them. They've been doing just fine with one goalie, so we'll have to see. We'll see. You know. Number 3, Waterloo Blackhawks. They have the capability of winning this conference, but they're just too inconsistent. I don't know what the problem is. They're losing the bad teams. They're putting up a really good fight, if not beating really good teams. So I don't know. I just think the next 2 teams I'm gonna talk about is better. 2, Sioux City Musketeers. They're going under people's radar because they lost twice to the Youngstown Phantoms in a bad weekend. They will be fine, guys. They will be. They are. If they were in the Eastern Conference, they're still finishing second. They're not better than the Saints. But my point still stands about they'll be fine. They'll be fine. Number one, only leaves one team that I didn't mention. Lincoln Stars, I still think they're going to win the Western Conference. I think they're the most complete team, offensively, defensively, and goaltending wise. They're by far the most complete team in the Western Conference. So yeah, that's it. And I think the Detroit Fine Saints won the Anderson Cup. So with all that set in stone, let's talk about the playoffs. These are not my final playoff predictions. I'll probably go over my standing predictions and my playoff predictions every week that I remember. So let's do it. We're going to go over the Western Conference playoffs first. So let's do this. Western Conference. So if we're going to base this off if the same playoffs bracket and the playoff the same playoff way, the playoffs work the same way they did last year. So Lincoln and Sioux City will get a bye, and Lincoln will play the winner of the 4 and 5 series, which would be, in my opinion, the Fargo Force and the Stampede, and then 2 Musketeers will face the winner of the 3 and 6 series, which in my opinion would be the Waterloo Blackhawks and the Tri-City Storm. So I'm gonna take a drink. Real quick, just real quickly. And then we'll go over my Western Conference playoff predictions, and then we'll go over my Eastern Conference playoff predictions. Then we're going to go to the Clark Cup final. That was not very quick, but anyways. So, what should we start with? Number 3 and 6. Waterloo Blackhawks are the home team again. Versus this time, not the Lincoln Stars. This time, the Tri-City Storm. Last time, the into the playoffs number 3. I had them going to the. Actually, no, I didn't have them going to the Clark Cup Finals. I kind of hoped they went to the Clark Cup Finals to face the Saints. But they were the 3rd favorites, top 3 favorites in the West, and maybe even 2nd favorites, behind obviously the Fargo Force, to make the Clark Cup final. They were top 5 favorites in the entire USHL, possibly top 3 favorites in the USHL to win the Cup, possibly. They were very strong contenders, but not only just the Western Conference, but in general, just to win the Cup. But the Stars came in here hungry, and to try to prove to the world that they're not no slouches. They come in here and sweep Waterloo Blackhawks. They're going to have some demons to face and some adversity to face coming into this year's playoffs, especially if they finish number 3 seed. Again, have home in this 3-game series, all 3 games throughout the 3-game series. And just in case you don't know how the playoffs look last year, the first round to 3-game series, all games playing in the higher seed's home location. Round number 2 is a 5-game series. The first 2 games playing in the higher seed location, and then the next 2 games playing in the lower seed home location, and then the 5th game, if needed, would be playing in the higher seed location. And the same thing goes for the the conference finals and the Clark Cup final. Waterloo would have a 3-game series, all games in Waterloo, Tri-City. I would take the Waterloo Blackhawks to win this series in 3 games. I think Waterloo Blackhawks have some demons to beat, and I think they're going to defeat them. I think Waterloo takes game 1. I think Tri-City squeaks out a game 2 victory, and I think Waterloo beats them pretty handedly in game 3. Blackhawks are just more complete than the Storm from top to bottom. I just think they're just more complete, I would say. Okay. Next up, number 4 seeded, in my opinion, Fargo Force is number 5 seeded Sioux Falls Stampede. This would be a fire matchup. Absolutely ridiculous matchup. Goaltending I would give to the Force. Defense I would give to the Force, probably. Offense I would give to the Stampede. We're going to have to see. Okay, I'm going to go with the Force in 3 games. I think the Stampede upset the Force in game 1, and then the Force take the next 2 games. I think the Force goaltending Alan Landak is going to steal in this series. That's what I predict. Okay. Round 1's complete. The second round matchups are going to be the number 1 seeded Lincoln Stars versus the number 4 seeded Fargo Force. And then the other second round matchup out of the Western Conference will be the number 2 seeded Sioux City Musketeers versus the number 3 seeded Waterloo Blackhawks. So, first of all, that's what should have been the second round matchup last year. Anyways, so yeah, let's jump into this prediction. Starting with the number 1 seeded Lincoln Stars taking on the number 4 seeded Fargo Force. I'm thinking the Stars win the series in 4 games. Alan Landek's gonna try to bail them out. Stars have a better offense, defense, and goaltending. All the slightly better offense, actually play decent amount better offense, slightly better defense, and slightly better goaltender. Lincoln Stars are gonna be too much of the Force. Stars take game 1 and game number 2. Stars take both games in Lincoln. Fargo takes game 3 in Fargo, and then Lincoln closes out. I think that the Stars are just overall going to be too much for the Fargo Force, and the Lincoln Stars punch a ticket to the Western Conference Finals. The other second round matchup is going to be the number 3 seeded Waterloo Blackhawks taking on the number 2 seeded Sioux City Musketeers. I'm going to go with a slight upset pick here and take the number 3 seeded Waterloo Blackhawks. I've seen so many good games of the Waterloo Blackhawks this season, especially against good teams, and I could see them beating the Musketeers. I'm going to take the Waterloo Blackhawks in 5 games. Waterloo upsets Sioux City. Actually, nope. Sioux City takes game 1. Waterloo takes game 2 and game 3. Sioux City brings it back to Sioux City with a game 4 W. Waterloo, not really the backs against the wall, but underdogs heading into Sioux City, and they upset Sioux City in Sioux City. Mark it down. Western Conference Finals, number 1 seeded Lincoln Stars, number 3 seeded Waterloo Blackhawks. Rematch of I believe it was the 2022 first round matchup. No, wait. I just mentioned this 2 minutes ago, bro. Rematch of the first round of the 2023 Clark Cup playoffs. Actually, 2024 Clark Cup playoffs. Okay. 2023, Stars came in as underdogs and 6 seeded squeaked into the playoffs, going to the heavily favored Waterloo Blackhawks and swept them in Waterloo. Lincoln comes into this playoff heavily favored. It's in Lincoln, 5-game series in the Western Conference Finals. Lincoln, the Blackhawks, who are this time underdogs, coming into Lincoln, trying to flip the script on Lincoln Stars. Lincoln takes game 1. Lincoln takes game 1 4-1. 4-1. Lincoln beats Waterloo pretty handedly game 1. Lincoln's like, okay, we're beating Waterloo this series, Great game 1. Waterloo comes out and defeats Lincoln game 2. 3-1. Waterloo barely beats Lincoln game 2. Waterloo takes them back to Waterloo, tied at 1 apiece with the momentum. Waterloo uses that momentum and defeats them game 3. What's the award called in the USHL that goes to the team with the best record in the regular season? Anderson Cup. And so I think the Saints are going to win. But yeah, they take game 3. They use the momentum to defeat them game 3. 3-2 in overtime. Waterloo's defeating Lincoln 3-2 in overtime in game 3. Waterloo is 1 game away from flipping the script on Lincoln. But Lincoln says, nuh-uh, and they win game 4, and Waterloo drags them back to Lincoln with a game 5 winner go to the Clark Cup final. Lincoln wins. I want to see Waterloo win that because if the Saints do go to Clark Cup final, first of all, it'd be close. Close to Dubuque. Second of all, it would be a fire matchup. But I'm going to go with my brain here, and my gut. and say the Lincoln Stars wins Game 5. They win 2 straight to move on to the Clark Cup Finals. This time they win 2-1. It's going to be a very low scoring match. So yeah, Lincoln punched their ticket to the Clark Cup Final. Eastern Conference this time. Here we go. Let's talk about the Eastern Conference. Here is the bracket for the Eastern Conference side. Number 1 seeded Dubuque Fighting Saints won the Anderson Cup. This is like predictions. If all of my predictions are exactly right, what I predict. Dubuque Fighting Saints won the Anderson Cup. They will face the winners of the number 4 seeded Green Bay Gamblers. This is the number 5 seeded Youngstown Phantoms. And then number 2 seeded Madison Capitals will take on the matchup of the number 3 Muskegon Lumberjacks, number 6 Chicago Steel. We'll talk about the 3 and 6 series first, Muskegon and Chicago. This is one of the biggest rivalries in the USHL. I've seen them play so many times. It's really going to be back and forth series. But I'm still going to take the Muskegon Lumberjacks to sweep. They're quite significantly better. Goaltender, on paper, I'll give it to Chicago, but I'm going to give it to Muskegon slightly. Defense by a million times out of a million, it's Muskegon. Offense, Muskegon. I'll say it. Muskegon just overall outmatches Chicago. 4 and 5 seeded Green Bay and Youngstown. I'm going to take Youngstown in upset in 3 games. I think Youngstown's going to become pretty decently disciplined by that time. And so they're going to upset the Gamblers in Green Bay. And so, yeah, they're going to beat them in 3 games. So they'll take on the Saints. Since we're talking about the Gamblers, Saints, number 1 seeded Anderson Cup winners versus the number 5 Green Bay Gamblers. Which by the way, speaking of this matchup, the Green Bay Gamblers play the Saints twice, both times in Dubuque this weekend, this upcoming weekend. But yeah, speaking of 2 games in Dubuque, first 2 games to be played in Dubuque, both of those games go to Dubuque. I think Dubuque takes a commanding 2-0 series lead. Green Bay steals game number 3. It's going to be 3-2 overtime. They're going to get out by the skin of their teeth. And Dubuque's going to come out and beat them pretty handily game 4 in Green Bay. They're just outmatched. Offense by a million miles, Dubuque. Defense pretty even. Goaltended by a million miles, Dubuque. Dubuque's going to outmatch Green Bay Gamblers. Number 2 seeded Madison Capitals and number 3 seeded Muskegon Lumberjacks. Madison wins in 4 games. Goaltending, I'm not even going to slight edge to Muskegon. Defense, Madison. Offense by a million miles, Madison. The offense is just going to outscore Muskegon Lumberjacks heavily. And they're just going to beat them in 4 games. I think Madison takes the first 2 games in Madison. Muskegon steals game 3 in Muskegon. And then Madison beats them in game 4. Here we go. Eastern Conference Finals, in my opinion. Anderson Cup champions. Number 1 seeded Dubuque Fighting Saints taking on the number 2 Madison Capitals. The Dubuque Fighting Saints look to win the Eastern Conference Finals and win the Eastern Conference 2 consecutive years. Compared to Madison Capital looking to get back in the Clark Cup Finals for the first time since 2022. Here we go. Game 1. Dubuque takes Game 1. Game 2. Madison squeaks out a Game 2 victory. Game 3 goes to Dubuque. Game 4 goes to Dubuque. Madison beats Madison twice in Madison. And they move on to the Clark Cup Finals. Number 1 seeded out of the Eastern Conference Finals and Anderson Cup champions, the Dubuque Fighting Saints take on the number 1 seeded out of the Western Conference Finals, Anderson Cup runner-ups, Lincoln Stars. I think the Dubuque Fighting Saints take Game 1 in Dubuque. Lincoln takes Game 2 in Lincoln. Lincoln also takes Game 3 in Lincoln. So Dubuque have their backs against the walls. They take Game 4 in Lincoln. And then Game 5, I think is coming down there, Game 5. It's going to be in Dubuque. Game 5. It's probably going to be a sold-out arena in Dubuque. Game 5. For all the marbles. Win, you go home in Dubuque. Dubuque takes it. I think Dubuque's going to come back after they lost in the Clark Cup Finals against the Anderson Cup champions. Going to come back, win the Anderson Cup, go all the way to the finals, just walk through the Eastern Conference, no problems, beat both of the teams that they faced in 4 games handedly. and defeat the Lincoln Stars in 5 games. I think the Saints come back with a vengeance this year. Bad taste in the mouth since after last year, and they defeat the Lincoln Stars in 5 games in the Clark Cup Finals. Dubuque gets to see a Clark Cup in Dubuque. And so, yeah, that's how I think this USHL season is going to go. If you have any opinions on that, you can chat it real quick. If you're in the chat, your comment on whatever Facebook post, X post, in the Discord, YouTube comment section, whatever you want to comment, whatever way you can contact me. You can message and comment or chat or whatever. If you have any questions or disagreements or any conversations you want to have with me, you can do that. But that's my overall 2024-2025 USHL standings and playoff predictions. There we go. I think I might do that again next week. We'll see how I feel about it, but we kind of just went over it all, so I don't think that much is going to change in a week. But, yeah, we'll see how I'm feeling next week, next Sunday. Any of you guys have... I'm going to wait 30 seconds to a minute to see if any of you guys have any questions, comments, or concerns about any of those predictions. We'll wait about till the 41 minutes and 20 second mark. See if anybody can chat before we talk about Saturday's NHL games, and then skedaddle. 20 seconds of chat if you have anything. Thank you, Doug. I agree with you, so thank you. About 10 seconds to comment if you have any questions, comments, concerns. You can still do it. You can still comment after, but I'll move on and talk about the NHL scores in about 5 seconds. Okay, now let's move over to the NHL scores. Saturday NHL games. Let's do that. I'm gonna go over the scoreboard real quick just so I'm ready for tomorrow. Yeah, I guess technically it'd be Thursday. Wait, nope, it'll be on Wednesday because I talk about the USHL game on Wednesday because it'll be after school. So I would like to see Dubuque beat Fargo in the Cup. I'm not gonna lie to you, that would be pretty cool. That would be sweet revenge. And I do think if we face Fargo, we'd beat Fargo in the Clark Cup Final. Pretty handedly, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah. That would be a really good matchup. Rematch of the Clark Cup Final last year. Yeah, I agree. This time the Saints would be heavily favored this time compared to Fargo. That'd be nice. And we'd have game 1 and 2 in Dubuque, which I'd be at both those games. So yeah. Let's do this. Okay, Saturday, game 2 of the 2-game series in Finland. Evan Rodriguez opens a scoring again, both games. This time it's the third goal of the season. This is by Mikola and Sam Reinhart, 14:45 into the first period. Matthew Tkachuk in the power play. This is by Belinkis and Barkov, 8:47 into the second period. Evgeny Dadonov on the power play brings it back within 1 for Dallas. This is by Wyatt Johnson. Matt Duchene, 11:22 into the second period. Matt Duchene ties the game for Dallas. This is by Heiskin and Harley, 11:56 in the second period. AJ Greer gets the lead back for the Panthers, 2:32 into the third period. This is by Novak. And the empty net goal by Sam Reinhart, 10th goal of the season already. This is by 8-2 Lustrian, and minute left in the game. Panthers sweep the 2-game series in the Finland Global Series, yeah. Okay. Matthew Poitras, first goal of the season for the Bruins. For him. This is by Hetmus Lindholm and Morgan Geekie, 11:28 into the first period. Justin Brazeau, third goal of the season. This is by Martian and Elias Lindholm, 11:23 in the second period. Ben Martian, empty net goals. This is by David Pastrnak, 16:21 into the third period. 20 save shutout for Jonas Korpisalo. Their defense, like the Boston Bruins defense we all know and love. I will give credit where credit is due. A lot of people have been giving credit to Jonas Korpisalo, but I'm actually going to go out and say that was the defense. Yes, Corpusalo made 20 saves, but he only had to make 20 saves. When you only have 20 shots against you, it's a lot easier to make a shutout compared if you have 35 shots against you. So the Bruins made it a lot easier for Jonas Corpusalo to make a 20 save shutout compared if you would have to make a 35 save shutout. So the Bruins becoming more disciplined, maybe. That's what they needed. They needed the defense to lock in, and lock down, and become more disciplined as a whole. The top scorers needed to score. Marchand did, and Pastrnak got an assist. And so maybe that can flip the switch for the Bruins. They play today. I already know what happens, but I'm not going to tell you. We'll review that tomorrow. The next game, Kings and the Blackhawks. Alex Lafreniere, power play goal, 7th goal of the season. This is by Kopitar and Kevin Fiala, 3:57 in the first period. He's left an underrated star. I have not heard anybody talk about him. He just got a casual 7 goals. Yeah, I'm gonna jump on this guy. I'm not gonna actually jump on the train because he's gonna cool off. But I'm gonna talk about him before anybody else does. Alex Lafreniere, 2nd goal of the night, 8th goal of the season. This is by Turcotte Donald, 18:37 in the second period. What did I say, bro? What did I say? This guy can't stop scoring. He's on fire. Nick Foligno brings it back with a 1 for Blackhawks. This is by Nolan Allen, 3:26 in the third period. Craig Smith, 4th goal of the season. This is by Radko and Vlasic, 5:34 in the third period. Then Noel gives the Kings a lead again. This is by Kevin Fiala and Trevor Moore, 11:48 in the third period. Tyler Bertuzzi ties the game with 31 seconds left in the third period. This is by Donato and Seth Jones. Shootout winner by Ryan Donato. Even though the Blackhawks got outshot 40-21, they still decided to win. I'm going to assume it's Peter Mrazek in net. Let me check. Let me confirm that, actually. I don't know. I'm going to confirm that real quick. Saturday, November 2nd. Let's look. What game am I looking for? Oh, yeah, the Blackhawks game, done. It was... How did our goalie not get a top 3 star? That's ridiculous. Yes, Peter. Go, Peter. Peter's my goat, bro. But, yeah. Capitals. I'm not going to review all the goals. I'm just not going to do that. Okay, that's 9 goals I got to review. But the Capitals get outshot 36-22 by the Blue Jackets, and they still scored. They scored 5 goals in the first period. That's why they won. They scored 5 goals in the first period. Logan Thompson I wouldn't say steals in the game because they scored 7 goals, but he made 34 saves and 36 shots. Capitals improved to 8-2. They're going under the radar. I think they're going to make the wild card pretty convincingly. Just off the start alone. Senators get a 3-0 win over the Kraken. Adam got that 6th goal of the season. This is by Nick Cousins and Zach McEwen. 5:28 in the first period. Brady Tkachuk, 7th goal of the season. This is by Bernard Docker and Tim Stützle, 11:11 in the second period. Tim Stützle, empty net. This is by Amadio, 17:46 in the third period. And Senators pick up a much-needed win with Anton Forsberg. 22 save shutout. Forsberg, that's his 2nd shutout of the season already. I don't know how he's doing this. Don't know. But yeah, that's how that went. Alex Tuch short-handed goal to open the scoring for the Sabres on his assist at 11:39 in the first period. Dylan Larkin on the power play ties it up for the Red Wings. This is by Patty Kane. 7:49 second period. Larkin on the power play. 2nd goal of the night. 7th of the season. This is by DeBrincat and Raymond. 14:38 in the second period. Red Wings get a 2-1 win over the Sabres. Who started for the Red Wings that game? Cam Talbot. Cam Talbot made 31 saves and 32 shots. Sabres lose another winnable game. They should have won that game. They 100% should have won that game. I stand on that when I said they should have won that game. I do not think the Sabres are going to make the playoffs. I originally did, but especially after the way they cannot seem to find the way to win. Yeah, I don't think the Capitals and the Lightning are a million times better than them, I'll say it. Penguins take on the Canadiens. Sidney Crosby opens the scoring. This is by Rickard Rakell, 15:57 in the first period. Sidney Crosby, 2nd of the night, 5th of the season on the power play. This is by Letang and Carlson, 18:40 in the second period. Christian Dvorak, 1st goal of the season. This is by Heineman and Slafkowski, 5:32 in the second period. 45 seconds left in the game. Blake Lizotte First goal of the season, empty net, assisted by Lars Eller. Penguins get a 3-1 win over the Canadiens. Nedeljkovic makes 25 saves and 26 shots. What a game by Alex Nedeljkovic. Leafs face the Blues. Mitch Marner, second goal of the season, assisted by Timmins, 5:25 in the first period. Parayko, second goal of the season, assisted by Walker and Ryan Suter, 3:29 in the second period. Jordan Kyrou gives the Blues a lead, 8:08 in the second period, unassisted. Colton Parayko, second and ninth of the season, assisted by Ryan Suter and Holloway, 12:32 in the second period. Steven Lawrence, second goal of the season, assisted by Camp and McCabe, 13:52 in the third period. Brings it back with a one for the Leafs. Empty net by Pavel Buchnevich with 49 seconds left in the third, assisted by Parayko. What a game from Parayko, 3.9 for Parayko. The Leafs get 37 shots, but they get stopped on 35 of those by Binnington. Leafs, they need to win those games, dude. They need to win those games. If they actually want to contend, they need to win those games. They really, really do. So, yeah, that's how that game went. The Leafs lost again. I think they'll be fine. I think they're going to win next game. They'll bounce back. They'll be okay, but definitely need to win those games next time. Avalanche on the Predators. Cale Makar, fifth goal of the season, opens the scoring for the Avalanche on the power play, assisted by Middlestat and McKinnon. 2:54 into the, was that first or second period? 2:54 into the second period. Steven Stamkos on the power play, assisted by Yossi and O'Reilly. 8:31 second period. Colton Sisson's first goal of the season, assisted by Del Gazio and I forgot to say that name again. 18:40 in the second period. Romeo Yossi power play goal, assisted by Stamkos and Marchessault. 5:15 in the third period. McKinnon brings it back within one for the Avalanche, assisted by Taves and Makar. 17:43 in the third period. Forsberg, assisted by Nyquist. 18:46 in the third period. And Nyquist, unassisted. 19:19 in the third period. Pair of empty net goal for the Predators give them a 5-2 victory over the Avalanche. Yeah. Saros makes 28 saves on 30 shots for the Predators. He has a great game. Nunnan makes 20 saves on 23 shots, which is not a bad game at all by him. He says he let up. He only let up 3 goals. The other 2 goals on empty nets. He had a pretty decent game. The Avalanche only scored 2 goals, though. Hockey Club look to get back on the right track. Logan Cooley jump starts the game. This is by Bjorkstrand and McBain, 11:52 into the first period. Ian Cole, first game of the season. This is by Logan Cooley and Clayton Keller, 12 minutes in the second period. Doriev, 7th goal of the season. This is by Huddle and Howden, 15:06 in the second period. Noah Heffernan, first goal of the season. This is by Nick Waugh, Keegan Colasar. With 1 second left in the second period, ties the game. William Carlson, 5:37 in the third period. This is by Noah Heffernan, carries the momentum in the third period, takes the lead for the Knights. Hockey Club, Alexander Kerfoot, assisted by Bjorkstrand and Lamoureux, I think that's how you say it, Lamoureux or something like that. 13:10 in the third period, that takes them to overtime. Brett Howden, assisted by Noah Heffernan, Mark Stone, 2:15 in the overtime. Gives the Knights the 2 points compared to the Hockey Club, only picking up 1 point. They needed those 2 points if they want to stay in that Western Conference wildcard race. Canucks take on the shots. Nico Strum tries to jumpstart the upset, try to get an upset win over the Canucks. It's by Cunnin. 2:37 in the second period. Peel Suter ties the game for the Canucks. This is by Nils Hoglander and Connor Garland. 14:41 in the second period. Jake DeBrusk, first goal of the season, first goal of the Canucks. This is by Quinn Hughes and Heroin. 15:38 in the third period. Mikhail Gunlund ties the game. This is by Toffoli and Eklund. 18:43 in the third period. Peel Suter, second of the game, fourth of the season. This is by Connor Garland and Susie. With 26 seconds left in the game, the Canucks squeak out a 3-2 win in regulation over the San Jose Sharks. Yeah, and I know I did not go over the blog post, so we should do that real quick. We're going to go over the blog post, and then we're done for the day. We're out of here. It was like an hour-long podcast episode, and 40 of those talked about the USHL standings. So, yeah, and playoff prediction. Here we go. Friday, the Fargo Force stays high and shuts out the Bucks 4-0 and extends to a 7-game win streak. That was infactual. I'm sorry I lied to you, okay? The Jacks defeat the Rough Riders 2-1 in regulation in NCR. The Steel beat the Gamblers 6-2 on the road. Caps also stay high with the 4-1 win over the Phantoms. The Saints won the Battle of the Best with the 4-1 road victory. The Lancers get a 1-0 shutout win in overtime over Tri-City on the road. The Hawks bounce back with a 5-2 home win over Sioux Falls. Saturday, the Bucks shock the Hawks with a 4-1 win. The Muskies bounce back and end the Force 7-game win streak with a 5-3 win at home. The Stars get a win after losing the night before with a 4-2 win over the Lancers. The Saints beat the Storm 4-3 on the road. The Jacks sweep the Rough Riders with a 4-2 win. The Gamblers split the weekend with a 4-3 overtime win over Chicago. The Caps stay hot with another 4-1 victory win over the Phantoms. Sunday, the Storm take a 4-2 win over Omaha in the only game on Sunday. So, yeah, that's going to do it for today's podcast episode. Hope you enjoyed this podcast episode. Like this video if you haven't already. Subscribe if you haven't already. Continue to watch these podcast episodes. Have a great rest of your day, your night, depending on what time you're watching this. If you're watching this live, have a good rest of your night. If you're watching this during the day, anytime, have a good rest of your day. If you're watching this after it's live at night, have a good rest of your night. So yeah, I will see you guys tomorrow for episode 9 of season 6. Peace out.